ASMR channel. This is my first ever ASMR channel, and today we'll be starting off the embarkment of our channel by reading you a storybook. If you like these videos, I would love if you could like, comment, and subscribe. I will be aiming to do many more videos like this. This video will help you fall asleep. I have made you a warm glass of tea with no milk to reduce bloating. I will leave this for you here for you to drink whilst you listen to me read this storybook. To set the mood, I have also got this beautiful spiced candle. This candle is smoked cherry, and it will help you relax. Let's light this candle together. I hope that you can soon fall asleep. So let's begin. Pooh goes visiting. Adapted from the stories of A. Milne. I went all the way to the library to pick out this book. Let's begin. Okay, so Winnie the Pooh was walking through the forest, humming proudly to himself. He had made up a little hum as he was doing as he tried to reach his toes. His toes, his toes, his toes. One moment. After breakfast, he had learned it off by heart, and now he was humming it right through properly. It went like this. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, rum-tum, tiddly-um-tum, tiddly-iddly, tiddly-iddle, tiddle-iddle, tiddle-iddle, rum-tum, tum, tiddlum. Let's start the page. Pooh was humming this hum to himself when suddenly, he came to a sandy bank, and in the bank was a large hole. "Ah," said Pooh, "rum-tum tiddly-um-tum. If I know anything about anything, that hole means rabbit, and rabbit means company, and company means food and such like. Rum-tum-tum tiddle-um." So he bent down, put his head into the hole, and called out, "Is anybody at home?" There was a sudden scuffling noise from inside the hole, and then silence. What I said was, "Is anybody at home?" called out Pooh very loudly. "No," said a voice, and then added, "You needn't shout. I heard you quite well the first time." "Bother," said Pooh. "Isn't there anybody here at all?" "Nobody." Oh dear, and Pooh is here just looking down the rabbit hole. I love these illustrations. So Pooh pushed and pushed and pushed his way through the hole, and at last he got in. "You were right, you were right, you were right," said Rabbit, looking at him all over. "It is you. Glad to see you. Who did you think it was?" "Well, I wasn't sure. You know how it is in the forest. One can't have anybody coming into one's house. One has to be careful. What about a mouthful of something?" Pooh always liked a little something at 11 o'clock in the morning, and he was very glad to see Rabbit getting out the plates and mugs. Pooh always liked a little something at 11 o'clock in the morning, and he was very glad to see Rabbit getting out the plates and mugs. When Rabbit said, "Honey or condensed milk with your bread," he was so excited that he said, "Both." And then, so as not to seem greedy, he added, "But don't bother about the bread, please." And for a long time after that, he said nothing. Here you can see Pooh gobbling up all that honey and this, Pooh got up, shook Rabbit lovingly by the paw, and said that he must be going on. "Must you?" said Rabbit politely. "Well," said Pooh, "I could stay a little longer if you," and he tried very hard to look in the direction of the larder. "As a matter of fact," said Rabbit, "I was going out myself directly. Oh well, then I'll be going on. Goodbye." "Well, goodbye, if you're sure you won't have any more." "Is there any more?" asked Pooh quickly. Rabbit took the covers off the dishes and said, "No, there wasn't." "I thought not," said Pooh, nodding to himself. "Well, goodbye, I must be going on." And here you have Pooh leaving Rabbit's hole, with no more food left on the table. So he started to climb out of the hole. He pulled with his front paws and pushed with his back paws, and in a little while his nose was out in the open again, and then his ears, and then his front paws, and then his shoulders, and then, "Oh, help," said Pooh. "I'd better go back." "Oh, bother," said Pooh. "I shall have to go on." "I can't do either," said Pooh. "Oh, help and bother." You're stuck. You're stuck, 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 stuck. You're stuck in the hole. Now, this is the time Rabbit wanted to go for a walk too, and finding the front door full, he went out by the back door and came round to Pooh and looked at him. "Hello, are you stuck?" he asked. No," said Pooh carelessly, "just resting and thinking and humming to myself." "Here, give us a paw," said Rabbit. Pooh Bear stretched out a paw, and Rabbit pulled and pulled and pulled. "Ow," cried Pooh, "you're hurting." "The fact is," said Rabbit, "you are stuck." "It all comes," said Pooh crossly, "of not having front doors big enough." "It all comes," said Rabbit sternly, "of eating too much." Well, well, I shall go and fetch Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin, Christopher Robin. And here you have Rabbit trying to pull Pooh out, pulling and pulling and pulling. And here you've got Christopher Robin looking down at Pooh, wondering how he got like this. Christopher Robin lived at the other end of the forest. When he came back with Rabbit and saw the front half of Pooh sticking out of the hole, he said, "Silly old bear," in such a loving voice that everybody felt quite hopeful again. "I was just beginning to think," said Pooh, sniffing slightly, "that Rabbit might never be able to use his front door again." "And I should hate that," he said. "So should I," said Rabbit. "Of course he'll use his front door again," said Christopher Robin. "Good," said Rabbit. "If we can't pull you out, Pooh, we might push you back." Oh dear. Rabbit scratched his whiskers thoughtfully and pointed out that when Pooh was pushed back, he was back. "You mean I'd never get out?" said Pooh. I mean," said Rabbit. I mean, said Rabbit, "that having got so far, it seems a pity to waste it." Christopher Robin nodded. "Then there's only one thing to be done," he said. "We shall have to wait for you to get thin again." "How long does getting thin take?" asked Pooh anxiously. "About a week, I should think," said Christopher Robin. "But I can't stay here for a week." "You can stay here all right, silly old bear. It's getting you out which is so difficult." Pooh is so worried that he'll have to stay in there for a week. For a week, we'll read to you," said Rabbit cheerfully. "And I say, you're taking up a good deal of room in my house. Do you mind if I use your back legs as a towel rail? Because I mean, there they are, doing nothing, and it would be very convenient just to hang the towels on them." "A week," said Pooh gloomingly. "What about meals?" "I'm afraid no meals," said Christopher Robin, "because of getting thin quicker. But we will read to you." Pooh began to sigh, and then found he couldn't because he was so tightly stuck, and a tear rolled down his eyes as he said, "Then would you read a sustaining book, such as would help and comfort a wedged bear in great tightness?" So, for a week, Christopher Robin read that sort of book at the north end of Pooh. Look at Rabbit hanging the towels on his legs with a steamy bath. And Rabbit hung his washing on the south end, and in between Pooh felt himself getting slender and slender. Here you have all the animals pulling out Pooh with Christopher Robin. Let's see what happens next. At the end of the week, Christopher Robin said, "Now," and he took hold of Pooh's front paws while Rabbit took hold of Christopher Robin, and all Rabbit's friends and relations took hold of Rabbit, and they all pulled together. And for a long time, Pooh only said, "Ow," and "Oh." Poor Pooh Bear. And then, all of a sudden, he said, "Pop, pop, 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 pop," just as a cork were coming out of a bottle. Just as if a cork was coming out of a bottle. And Christopher Robin and Rabbit and all Rabbit's friends and relations went head over heels backwards, and on So, with a nod of thanks to his friends, he went on with his walk through the forest, humming proudly to himself. Christopher Robin looked after him lovingly. Robin looked after him lovingly and said to himself, "If you're awake, say it together. 1, 2, 3. Silly old bear. Bye-bye, Pooh." This story has come to an end. Here you can see the beautiful map of Pooh Bear. This story has come to an end. I hope that you've enjoyed this storybook, and I hope you will join me soon again. I hope you will join me soon again for another storybook to help you sleep. Thank you so much